These majestic, magnificent animals once roamed freely across the plains of South Africa. Now, they're more likely to be found in captivity or on a trophy wall.
Most of the lions in captivity are being bred for canned hunting.
Andy Reev has fallen in love with lions and Glen Gariff, a reserve set up to look after captive lions in an ethical way.
They're just treating me the way they would their mom. They don't realize that I'm so fragile. But actually, they do a bit.
Andy now runs Glen Gariff, struggling to find money, fighting lawyers who threaten to sell the land, and protecting her lions from the hunting industry. Can Andy and her friends keep the dream alive? In this episode, new arrivals put added pressure on limited resources.
Can I say hello?
The smallest problem can lead to tragedy.
She was a lion till the end.
And the end of an era for South Africa.
For us, he was the essence, he was that light. His symbol was the lion.
Glen Gariff Lion Reserve was set up to try and preserve a strong gene pool amongst South Africa's captive lions. Now, two women, Tracy, the daughter of the original owner, and her friend Andy, have taken on the challenge. It's a huge task, finding food for over 50 lions, money to cover running costs, and for Andy, a midwife from the city, learning how to run an 800-hectare reserve with other wildlife, staff, and the lions.
There's no such thing as a tame lion. It's to always, always know that...
You might die.
Yeah.
Andy Reev first got involved with Glen Gariff when she found herself looking after cubs abandoned by their mothers.
For 9 months, we were feeding cubs. And it's not every 4 hours, because you've got to make the bottles, feed each cub, wind them. You wind them like a baby. And fart. They are the stinkiest things. That's the thing about having lions sleeping in your room. They lick you all night long, and they fart all night long, and they're the stinkiest things. And your bedding's ripped, and you have no curtains, and no bedside lamp, and no book.
And now there's a new arrival for Andy to look after, Ty.
Come and say hello. Come and say hello, baby boy. He's hungry. Can we give him some food? You have to feed every 4 hours. You have to sterilize bottles, wash bottles, make the formula, and then you have to poo them, which means simulate licking, because in the wild, a cub can't just poo or wee anywhere, because they could be marking another lion's territory. So we, every 4 hours, have to simulate with a wet cloth, licking them. And then you have to wind them as well. So the whole process can take an hour. Come, baby. Are you gonna do it? No ways, big... Oh, big boy!
Andy recently came off her bike, injuring her arm and shoulder, which doesn't make looking after a small cub any easier.
I'm just gonna put him on the sofa like this, ow, because of my arm and my shoulder. If I have any cubs in here that are raised, it's because the mum didn't look after them. But in his case, his mother, she was looking after them. She was looking after them beautifully, but she only ever really allowed 4 to latch on at any time. As soon as a 5th one got to her, she would get up and walk away. We picked him up on day 10, because by then we started realizing that he, more than the others, kept getting knocked aside. And I just didn't want to watch and watch and watch and then let him die. And so we picked him up. But because he had 10 days with his mum, he's a little bit... He's not as friendly as the others. Hey, Jazz. Right now, the puppy's got the better of him because she gets on him and bites him like that. But can you... In a few weeks' time, it's going to be quite different. Jazz.
But Andy doesn't just provide a refuge for cubs and young lions. 2 adult lions that have been rescued have arrived at Glen Gariff. Ruby and TJ face the risk of being sold for hunting, and Andy, despite the added costs of 2 more mouths to feed, couldn't say no. Although when first approached, she tried to.
I got a phone call from a man saying that he knows somebody is looking for somewhere to put 2 lions and can I take them? And I said no. Because, you know, it's a big job feeding the lions we've got and I've got no money. And then afterwards, I started thinking, what is it about being convenient? Once they're shot, they're shot. Once they're dead, they're dead. There's no going back. You can't say, oh, well, man, I wish I just helped them. So I thought, I can't be thinking that and then not step forward here. So I thought, okay, first we save the 2 lions, and then we work out where they're going to sleep, what they're going to eat, where they're going to live the rest of their lives.
Ruby and TJ were rescued by Kathleen, a conservationist who lives in Johannesburg but has visited Glen Gariff before.
I came and spent some time with Andy and just saw the work that they're doing, done a lot of research on them, and they're just the most incredible place.
Andy is constantly approached to take rescued lions, but even looking after her own lions is a struggle. However, Kathleen is willing to help with costs.
Kathleen said, well, she'll pay to have her own enclosure built. So then the space isn't an issue. We've got the land, you know, we just need to build another enclosure. We've got the manpower, there are enough cows, it's just a matter of fetching them diesel and things. So I have absolutely no reason not to say, yeah, come.
Kathy, one of the volunteers who lives on the farm, is given the job of looking after Ruby and TJ. Looking after 2 fully grown lions is a new challenge for Kathy, especially as it turns out that Ruby has been ill and needs special care.
And now the nasty bit of the morning when I have to top up the blood meat.
Helping out on Glen Gariff has changed Kathy's life beyond all recognition. After selling her London house and giving the money to the cause, she became the permanent volunteer.
Oh.
It's given her a whole new lease on life, and she now confidently prepares a meal for a lion.
I wouldn't do this for anybody else but Ruby. Ruby has to have these special pellets. They're renal pellets, and it helps with her liver failure. But she won't eat them by themselves. So I've got to fold them up into this meat.
Kathy brings her own unique perspective to Glen Gariff's inhabitants.
What, you can smell that meat? Nah, there's my Topsy girl, sitting down there. This lion, a white lion, I think she's not the full quid. She sort of is always, what's going on? What's happening? Who am I? And she's such a sweetheart, and she's always the sort of last one. Here she comes. What? What are you after? Oh, it's a cow. Bye-bye. Oh. Breakfast is up, girls and boys. Frenzy.
Glen Gariff has an arrangement with farms in the area to pick up any dead livestock. Cows often get struck by lightning or die from natural causes. But instead of burying the carcasses and the meat going to waste, it's brought back here. The farmers want the cows taken away quickly before they can infect other cows with disease.
Look at the strength they have. My word. Don't play with it, eat it.
This arrangement helps to reduce Glen Gariff's food bill, but it's never enough, and food still has to be bought. And 2 new lions like Ruby and TJ are only going to add to those costs. Especially as these are city lions that will only eat very select cuts of meat.
Ruby! Oh, TJ's here too. Hello, my baby girl. What you saying to me, my beautiful girl? Oh, she's so my beautiful girl. Hey, Ruby. You know, I can't believe that I'm touching huge, massive lions and they're loving. You know, hey, what you moaning about today, TJ? Hey? Ruby, how can I feed you with TJ here today? Oh, you're such a gentle girl. 2 more nice bits of blood meat. Oh.
Feeding fussy eaters like TJ and Ruby and nursing young cubs like Ty are the least of Andy's worries.
There, see, babe.
There's a much bigger problem hanging over Glen Gariff. The fate of Glen Gariff and its lions hangs in the balance. For the last couple of years, they've been embroiled in a long-standing and very complex legal battle involving the previous owner. Desperate to bring the case to a close, Andy has come to Johannesburg to meet up with Tracy, her business partner.
Glen Gariff was given to those lions, and that's where they need to stay.
Tracy and Andy are considering taking on a new lawyer, though this means finding yet more money.
We've wasted such precious money that we couldn't afford to waste on legal fees. For most people, it would be crazy money. For us in our situation, where that money can be used for our lines and our fences and our services.
They have meetings scheduled with law firms and no cameras are allowed.
Oh, well, we're not late then.
Cheers. So that was that meeting.
The meetings with the lawyers went well, but there are more to come. While in Johannesburg, Andy and Tracy accept an offer to talk at a dinner organised by Kathleen, the lady who brought Ruby and TJ to Glen Gariff.
The meeting we've just come from was trying to get the money to sort that out. Anybody else comes down and says, well, actually, you know, we need the money, so we're going to sell this line.
Several of the guests specialise in environmental law, so Andy and Tracy spread the word about the work going on at Glen Gariff.
And we were like, okay, well, where can we go to buy cheap gear for our guys? Because winter's coming.
The reality is you've given up everything and live and die the lions.
Arriving there wasn't about the lions. Arriving there was about being friends with Tracy, and there was a need, something needed to be done. Someone had to work out what was happening here, and so I went up. But within my first 2 weeks, we got in a white female, and she gave birth prematurely. And that was it. Once I'd picked them up, I couldn't leave them. I had to stay.
Being back in Johannesburg reminds Andy of something her youngest daughter said the last time they came to the city.
And one of our trips back, Sinead and myself, we were so excited. We're going to a place where there are nice shops and some brilliant restaurants, beautiful shops. It's a very, you know, happening place. And Sinead and I were back going down there. We're like, oh, yay, sushi first night. And the second night, we're going to go and shop. And after 3 days there, she said to me, Mom, this is so irrelevant. There's no relevance to our lives here. Whereas back in Glen Gariff with the lions, every moment is so real. They're so real. You look at the little cub's face and how the instinct behind it and the way it moves, the way these lions move, everything about them, and working at keeping them healthy, keeping them alive, keeping the farm running, working on everything, as Sinead said, her word was, it's so relevant.
After a hectic 2 days of meetings, they've decided to go with the new lawyer. It's time for Andy to return to Glen Gariff. She says goodbye to Tracy at the airport.
Seeing that we are strong together and that we both can do this, and I think that was very important. So whatever else we achieved.
Engaging a new lawyer means spending more money, which they don't have. But the alternative is that the farm will be sold, and even worse, the lions could end up as part of South Africa's lucrative hunting industry. An industry that is now relying on captive lions and even farming them for what is called canned hunting.
Lions are being bred to be hunted, nothing else. They actually make in factories out of the females to mass produce lion cubs.
What's actually happening is that they're being turned into livestock, alternative livestock, taking the wild out of our wildlife.
Though Andy and Tracy would never think of allowing their lions to be used in this way, creditors are breathing down their necks.
I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm working on it at night. I wake up in the middle of the night and write stuff. I wake up literally at midnight and I'm sitting on my phone writing down the thoughts in my mind about it.
In an effort to raise extra money, she's organised for guests to come onto the farm and experience the lions. Tega, her daughter, is looking after a group that has just arrived, and she introduces them to Ty, the new cub.
What's his name?
Ty.
Ty.
I've always loved Africa,
But to actually get that close to a lion is something else. To touch one is just beyond my wildest dreams, really.
These ones are very timid.
Are they ever released back into the wild?
I think that the authorities don't allow them to go back into the wild. But then if places have too much inbreeding, then they'll call for pure blood because our lions are genetically superior.
Lions in captivity versus living in the wild. It's a topic that comes up repeatedly. In South Africa today, there are over 150 lion farms.
Yeah, when I came here, I felt that lions shouldn't be in captivity. And then you've got to weigh up, what are you talking about? Like, lions are not valuable if they're not in the wild, they're not worth saving. When I got here, I was a little bit disconcerted seeing these lions in enclosures. And it's only after a few days when I started dealing with them, interacting with them and getting to know them by name and character and who's doing what and seeing how they're getting on with their lives and they're doing their thing and they actually do lion stuff.
Just recently, the lions showed they still have their hunting instincts. The unfortunate victim was a sheep called Ugly.
I can never let Fonda and the stars out at the same time. And then when I looked, Ugly had just appeared from around the corner. Fonda went and she just grabbed her by the hind legs, which is how they do it, grabbed her, one more leap up, had her by the throat and was killing her. And then I said, okay, actually, she's a lion, she's doing what lions do, it's a sheep, let it be. And then I felt proud of her first kill. But it's quite something to see them completely loving with us
and change completely,
and then bah, go for the kill.
But it's not only the livestock that fall prey to the lions. They can even do it to their own kind. Coming up, somehow a cub has been mauled by one of the lions.
You know what? I just thought, oh, well, I'll just, make her a bottle, but she's wild. I wonder whether she'll take the bottle. I wonder how long it's going to take before she's okay.
Sometimes on Glen Gariff, there is tragedy. One of the cubs has been killed by a lion.
So when Elias and Tulani brought her to me this morning, she was wrapped in the blanket they gave her to me and they said she has another cub. You know what? I just thought, oh, well, I'll just, make her a bottle, but she's wild. I wonder whether she'll take the bottle. I wonder how long it's going to take before she's okay. I wonder if Ty will go near her and lick her. That's what I was wondering. And then Michael said to me, but she's bleeding. So then I looked at her and I said, oh, she's bleeding, I better take her to the vet. And while I'm driving to the vet, I was saying to her, and I looked back. I didn't even think she would die. I had to look back at her on the seat and think that we tried to see if there's any feeling in her feet. And there was absolutely no feeling in her feet. And I was even saying to her as I took her in, oh man, I should have washed all the mud off you before I brought you here. You look terrible. So then Johan said, the only thing we can do is put her down. And she kept hissing. She was a lion till the end.
Somehow, the cub was able to get into an area where there were adult lions from another pride.
The big marks are because the parents on both sides, the adults must have been fighting a bit and clearing it. That's why it's so clear. But I reckon the cub easily has been went through here, this gap.
The lions often try and get into another enclosure, but usually the electric fences stop them. However, sometimes cubs can climb under the fences.
I wasn't thinking for 1 second that I wasn't going to be bringing her home from the vet. And in my mind, I thought for a moment, I could deal with a paralyzed lion. I would make her like a skateboard thing that we strap her on to go around in, we'll make a plan. And he said to me, and I was thinking that, and then Johan looked at me and said, just remember, Andy, this one's wild. This is a wild lion, and she's in pain. Yeah, that's the truth of the matter.
The workers take the cub and bury it under a willow tree. The cub's death adds to the emotion of a week of sadness. Nelson Mandela has died, a nation is in mourning, and people are paying their respects at memorials all over the country.
He's so just there, he was just there, he's the heart of South Africa. But for us, for my generation, he was this beacon. He meant so much during that time. We never felt proud of being South African. We didn't grow up proud. We were always embarrassed about being South African, embarrassed about our flag, embarrassed. We felt like lesser, like second-class humans, unworthy as South Africans. But we could be proud of him. We had one thing that we could always be proud of.
Before Nelson Mandela and the fall of the apartheid regime, black South African workers had few rights. The younger workers on Glen Gariff, like Thulani's brother Elias, know from their parents what that time was like.
I guess I come me so we have one day big will. They come me so we first at some me pa. That it was I come there big will I say trouble is buyer because if it's enough with trouble they can be frustrated no play. The man was fighting.
Glen Gariff provided work opportunities for people like Elias and his brother Thulani, who has been there longer than anyone else. He worked with the original owner, Pat Shannon, when the idea of a lion reserve was just a dream.
Ayibasiphethe wabona ngisebenza kahle ngapha ngasemabhubesi wasethi hayi mina ke mina ngizosebenza ngamabhubesi sonke isikhathi. Fikela manje nje bangisebenza ngamabhubesi. Akafuni kabi mangingena phakathi ngingangena emabhubesini. Yena bethi ngiyeke ngingasebenzi lapha ngathi na ngizosebenza apho umsebenzi wo lona. Hayi ngizodliwa yilezi zinto. Nobaba wami akade angafuni kabi. Ubabakho. Ha belwa kabi. Hayi.
After apartheid was swept away, some land on Glen Gariff was given to the workers. That land has become a home for them and their growing families. And now, it's Thulani's son who worries about his father being attacked by the lions.
I feel scared if my father works on the lions, because I'm scared if that lions bite him, it can be a big problem, sir.
When I see the lion, I feel scared.
The big teeth? No, sir.
Over the years, Thulani has built up an understanding of how to work with lions and their different characters. He quickly bonded with the new arrivals, Ruby and TJ. So when Ruby became very ill, it was Thulani they called in.
We all thought she was going to die. And she had such a high temperature. But one of the most magical moments at that point was when Thulani picked her paw up and was bathing her paws and her face. This big African man, like he had a baby in his hands. It was beautiful. From that day on, she turned the corner and she started to get better. And because Kathleen can't be here every day, I made her a promise that I'd come down every single morning, give her a drop of moo tea, which is some homeopathic stuff, and feed her chicken legs. And now it's like, she's huge. There you go. That's dirty. I don't like it when you get them all dirty on the floor.
Thulani helped to settle Ruby into a new environment and put her on the road to recovery. Coming up, Andy is worried that new cub Ty could be turning into a nasty lion.
She does the strike and growl.
Andy has another new arrival, and he's much less demanding than any of the lions. Her youngest son, Roan. He was living with his father, who Andy is separated from, and now he's come to live with Andy and his two sisters.
Well, I like our new school. It's quite easy making friends there because it's nice and small. The school, because it's a lot smaller, like everyone does the sports and it's a lot more fun. Everyone does everything as a group instead of separately.
We met at school.
Have you been playing with Ty? Have you stroked him?
No, I haven't yet.
Not yet.
But we always keep on telling me to stroke him. I'm quite afraid of him.
Well, Ty's not a very loving to humans lion. He loves the dogs, but he doesn't really notice people.
It's still early days and Ty's character could change, but Andy thinks his late rescue is why he's not connecting with people so strongly.
All the other cubs I've ever raised, the mother never ever looked after them. From the word go, I had them. With him, it's not the case. He doesn't look at me like I'm his mother. But he's not as loving. And that's one thing Pat Shannon always said, is that there's characters, there are different characters. They come with this beautiful character, or like a mediocre character, or they're just nasty and bitchy.
Different personalities and different habits. Some like climbing trees, much to the amazement of the latest group of guests.
If they can't walk their way back down, you've got to call the firemen. They don't jump down.
And some lions are very smart.
When they first put the gate in here, they didn't do anything. And then the day I let Shannon and Aslan out, they watched and they saw that there's this little sheath you've got to lift up and then a chain. So as soon as I'd let the boys out, the girls came. One puts her claw under, lifts the sheath up, the other one takes the chain, lifts it up, open the gate, and they're out.
Among the guests is Kathleen, who is now a regular visitor to Glen Gariff. She takes some visitors down to meet the lions she rescued, Ruby and TJ. Kathleen has brought Samantha with her, one of the environmental lawyers from the dinner party in Johannesburg. She's become a strong defender of the work being done here.
When I initially came to the project, I came with a friend of mine, and his statement to me was that what you're looking at is basically the same as a zoo. I differ from that. I strongly oppose that view, and the reason why is because we now have more lions in captivity than we do in the wild. And it's our responsibility that those lions are protected in captivity.
Samantha recognises that Glen Gariff and other reserves like it are critical to the ongoing survival of lions.
There are very few ethical sanctuaries. And this is one of the few ethical sanctuaries that I have seen. I've been here twice now, and I'm comfortable with what I see. And they do seem to be particularly passionate about the concept of genetic purity of the lion.
Genetic purity is essential because it's more likely to produce healthy lions. On farms where lions are bred for hunting, brothers and sisters are allowed to mate. This inbreeding leads to deformity and disease.
We had some lions here, a lady who breeds for hunting, but she breeds. And for her, it's to stock. The moment the babies are born, she takes them away so the mother will go into estrus so they can breed again. She's just about breeding, numbers. It's livestock to her. So they just allow them to inbreed. And so what I saw with this woman's lions when they came here, we had a female with a mane, we had a male without a mane, androgynous lions, dwarf lions, squint lions, lions that when they, one lion, every time she clawed at something, if she hit a bone, her nails would splinter.
The cubs pictured here are from a farm breeding lions for hunters to shoot. They're often tame and more likely to walk up to a hunter to say hello. The latest craze in hunting is the use of bows and arrows.
They can offer canned lion hunting to sometimes a hunter who doesn't even know that these animals have been in captivity or have been bred in captivity. They're released very briefly into a wild area where they are totally out of their depth. Sometimes they're drugged, and the hunter believes he's killing a lion in the wild. And he's killed it for the trophy.
The cubs on canned hunting farms are hand-reared. Often the cost of raising one is covered by a well-meaning volunteer, not realizing once these virtually tame animals grow up, they'll be easy targets for wealthy hunters. As a result, many animal rights activists argue against all forms of human contact with lions.
They can do damage. Somebody's saying don't support or anybody who touches a lion or has cubs or is living with lions is raising them for canned hunting. That's it. They are raising them for canned hunting. It's like a slap in the face. I'm sad and I'm cross. You know, I'm sad because there's so many people who really would care about these lions, but they don't know any better. So they just listen and they think, okay, we better, ostracize someone like me and our project. And I also have, on the other hand, the people who do raise cubs for canned lion hunting, who take their cubs away from the mother within 3 hours of birth because they remove them so the mother will produce another litter. So there's another whole group of people who also frown at me. They frown at me because I leave cubs with their mothers. They frown at me because I have this love relationship and don't ever let those, and I will never sell any of those cubs I've ever raised. Never.
Young cubs push up the workload and everyone gets involved in helping out. Even the director's son, Oliver. He's on cub duty, feeding Ty.
So this is the disinfector.
Come, baby. Come, baby.
It is seriously like holding a baby, but a bit more furry and heavy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
He looks cute and cuddly and very manageable, but Ty's personality isn't developing like other cubs Andy has raised. And it's becoming a concern.
If you annoy him, he wants to get on the sofa and I push him something, he goes, "Wah!" and he'll strike, just like a big lion does. He does the strike and growl. I don't know what I will do with him exactly if he turns out that we can't be with him because he's just too vicious. Because he's going to be alone and there's a problem. I don't know, I don't want him to be alone. They are incredibly social. Lions are the most social, most gregariously affectionate animals, I think, that you get if you watch the way they are with each other. Not with other prides, but with their pride, in their pride. And they're social. So once they have bonded and they're part, their social group is be it a dog, like Ty's now bonding with the puppy, be it humans or other lions that they get put with, other orphans, that's it. They bond and they really, really cry. They're so unhappy if they're not with their little group, their pride.
Hello, my big boy.
Kathleen has come down for the day to see how Ruby and TJ are doing. She talks to Tulani about Ruby's progress and her treatment.
Did you go in with her every day and like say hello? And
yeah, I'm goes out every day.
TJ.
With Ruby on the mend, Kathleen notices something is wrong with TJ.
I'm just watching. I want to see because I think he's constipated. Maybe we can phone the vet and see if the vet can give us something.
Kathleen pays for any medical treatment for Ruby and TJ and voices her concerns to Andy. The vet turns up the following day.
I don't know what it is that Kathleen saw yesterday when she said he was sick. I haven't noticed anything. Delani hasn't noticed anything. I mean, neither of us have seen anything wrong with him. But the fact that he's up and actually walking like this at all is a good sign.
I think we should give it 2-3 days with laxatives. But if there's no action after 3 days, then we'll have to dart him and give him an enema, clean him up.
Yeah, keep watching, because I mean, you don't always see it.
See it always. I mean, yeah, we can dart him and
we're not watching 24/7.
Yeah, no.
The vet reports back to Kathleen.
You can't see much wrong. I can't see that his belly is very distended, but you know, it's not necessarily if it's not distended, he's not constipated. Okay, 100%. Okay, thanks, Kathleen. All right.
Andy is relieved they don't have to dart TJ, but her financial worries are getting worse.
The reason I didn't meet you in town this morning to get the diesel is I've got no money on that card.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting, I don't know exactly how to pay for the diesel this morning.
They're the scary ones.
Yeah.
But it's not the lions that are scaring Andy. She's afraid Glen Gariff will run out of money and have to close. There are vet fees, maintenance of fences, gates and equipment, staff wages, fuel costs. The bills just keep rolling in. At this point in time, she has only one thing of value, one way of raising money. She could sell a few of the lions.
Yeah,
But then there's the next month.
Yeah, the next month's on top of us, and we've also got my car payment.
Scrabbling around for pennies.
And the biggest thing is that we're ignoring
lawyers.
The biggest thing we're ignoring is the lawyers. And even on an absolute business level, all ethics aside, everything else aside, all my heartache and anything aside,
To sell lions that are not adult or not full grown, you're not going to make a whole lot of money. A full-grown lion is like 150,000, 170,000 rand for a male lion. But a sub-adult is going to be like 50,000. You sell those 2 beautiful males, you get 100,000 rand in. What does it take us? It takes us 1 payment to the lawyers in 1 month. I don't know what to do to stop it, because the reality is if we don't pay for electricity, the fences get switched off. If we don't pay the guys' wages, they will walk away. If we don't pay, I mean, every single thing on our list is crucial. We've got nothing extraneous, and
nothing
just
that
a little
can sit on the back
luxury
of the
that we can.
stove.
Yeah, we can't put any of these payments on the back burner. Every single thing is critical, and I don't know how to then say no. We cannot sell a lion. I don't have anything else to sell.
So there's no way out.
Okay, let's just think. We have to think. We've got to come up with a solution. We need to get guests here ASAP.
Andy and Tracy are constantly being approached by people wanting their lions. And it's not just hunters after trophies to hang on their walls. There's a huge trade in lion bones for traditional Asian medicines.
The past, let's say 5 years, there's been a boom in the lion bone market. I mean, they've even started digging up lions that were hunted many years ago for the bones. And yeah, it's a booming market. It's a massive market at the moment. After narcotics and illegal weapons, I think it's about the 3rd biggest illegal thing there is in the world.
Glen Gariff was targeted by the bone trade when one of its lions was killed in a fight.
Snowman died. 7 big males on the hill, all coming into their prime, started running up and down, provoking Snowman and provoking him and wanting to... They were obviously making gestures that they wanted his women. And he had cubs, so he was a little bit extra protective. And he jumped up against the fence like this one day. And the male next door nicked him, just nicked him in such a way that within minutes he'd bled out. And Tulani ran in there and everyone tried to stop us, but he died. We couldn't believe that such a viable, huge, powerful animal was dead. When he was lying there dead, it was... We had calls from people wanting to buy Snowman's body. And one lady said she'll give us 12 hours to get over our sentimental ball. And
what was he worth? What did they say?
She was offering us 500,000, so $500,000 for his dead body. I know a dead lion is worth a lot. A dead lion's worth way more than a live lion. We decided you just cannot cross that line. We believe in the value of living lions, so we buried him. And our whole point was that, we let them live with dignity and let them die with dignity.
Andy has got some more guests at Glen Gariff, providing temporary financial relief.
There's a test. If you want to know whether a lion is tame, any of the lions, you put your hand into the camp. And if you come back, you've got your hand, then they're tame. Oh, my love. Oh. That's Bonnie over there.
Straight ahead.
Yeah. She was a pub cub. In places like Romania, and they go around to pubs at night, and people pay to hold the cub and have a photo taken with the lion cub. Unfortunately, a lot of the pub cubs that are flown to South Africa end up out of the frying pan into the fire. But Bonnie and her brother Clyde came here.
TJ wasn't a pub cub. Kathleen rescued him and Ruby when they were in danger of being sold to the hunting industry. Today, Kathleen's back at Glen Gariff to watch the vet attend to TJ's constipation, which appears to be getting worse.
He hasn't been lying down or vomiting or showing signs, yeah. So he's not like he was last time.
I'd rather we've sorted that out than it gets to that
Yeah.
stage again.
But it will mean having to dart him.
Yeah, unfortunate. Dart goes in.
After darting TJ and making sure that he's fully unconscious, they have to move him into the shade. It's not an easy task. Then it's time to get down to business.
Maybe there's just a plug sitting here that's stopping it from coming out. Where they came from, they didn't eat much, but they only ate clean meat without eating bones and skins, and they're only getting chicken, these ones, because Ruby has renal failure. And it may be that the chicken bones, they tend to be very brittle, and they can cause constipation. I think it is from the chicken bones. It's brittle, you know how the chicken bones are. But we'll just give him an enema, but the fluid will break up those fecal balls and he should be able to get them out easily.
Shaking his hindquarters makes the enema fluid spread along TJ's bowel. Operation complete, the vet administers the antidote to the tranquilizer.
Come on, TJ.
Before long, TJ is fully awake and should be back to his normal self once the anesthetic wears off. Andy can get back to work. They have some difficult choices ahead. In order to survive, they may have to consider the unthinkable and sell some lions. But for the time being, Andy is just happy to share her love for lions with others.
So when you lick your lips, you lick your lips back. If you don't lick your lips back, then you've said to them that you don't come in peace. And then they become a little bit defensive. After they've licked their lips, and you've licked your lips back, they'll then blink their eyes at you. And then if you, and you can try this in the wild, so it's the same as humans smiling. If you smile at somebody, they pretty much start smiling back at you. If you lick your lips at a lion, even the most grumpy lion, you'll find a little bit of time and they'll start licking their lips back at you.
I just believe that if there was a species that spoke the heart of Africa, you know, it echoed the heartbeat of Africa, it's a wild lion. Getting a worldwide awareness behind the challenges that we face is a mammoth task, but it's not unachievable. I mean, we've just got to work hard and we've got to work smart, and we'll get it right.
Next episode, even the elements conspire against Glen Gariff.
Up here where I can see the fire, it's not right on top of us. It'll be at least an hour or so before it gets here. It's a little bit scary. In the top house, every window in the kitchen is smashed.